Game number 2 features 2 overtime winners from yesterday. Somebody's getting to go undefeated in the Daytona Invite. It's the Bulldogs of Georgia against the Golden Eagles of Marquette, right here on Flow Hoops. Happy to have you back, everyone. Corey Brooks alongside Jennifer George. And Jennifer, a team obviously we've seen a lot from in Georgia. You know them very, very well. Marquette, though, acquitted themselves very well. Let's start, though, with these Georgia Bulldogs. Had to fight for every single bit of it yesterday, but they got contributions from across the roster and a big win.
Yeah, big win for them yesterday. Again, they had adversity overtime. Again, you only get confidence from that win, being able to carry it over today into a big-time Marquette team.
No question about it. Marquette, very similar to Georgia in the sense that they were incredibly balanced yesterday. They were trailing for the grand majority of that game, but they showed a grit and a perseverance that powered them to an OT victory.
Yeah, and players like Jordan King really led the way. And then days like yesterday where Carissa McLaughlin, you know, had a tougher time, right? She had a tougher time really getting her shot off and getting some makes. Again, looking for a big-time response from her as their senior leader or as one of their leaders on the team.
Carissa McLaughlin, really, really good down the stretch yesterday. Jordan King started it for Marquette. They got a variety pack, as we've seen for them all season. Georgia, it was Steady Stady and company doing the job. UGA got some really, really good stuff there, even from players who hadn't achieved those highs. And so that makes it that much better for this Georgia team, so consistently playing just about everybody on the roster. They have that depth. They've utilized it, and it's made a huge difference for this Georgia team. Gotten a chance to introduce you to a number of really good players. Kat Biancardi is going to do 2 more. Kat, take it away.
All right, y'all, heading into game 2. Georgia and Marquette take the floor today after having a thrilling overtime games yesterday. And the Bulldogs look to remain perfect after defeating the Fighting Irish 71-67. And Coach Taylor is going to depend on the reigning SEC Co-Defensive Player of the Year, Q Morrison. Q is the native Georgia, has led SEC play with 33 steals last season. And so far entering into the game, she's got 12 on this season. But Morrison is a double threat. Offensively, she averages over 12 points and over 3 assists. Watch Morrison to be the player to execute Coach Taylor's high-tempo offense with a big focus on defensive pressure. All right, now headed over to Marquette. Coach Duffy I had the pleasure of talking to yesterday, and she just voiced over and over how the player that is getting the job done for her on the court is Lauren Van Keulen. Lauren yesterday posted up a double-doubles with 17 points and 13 rebounds. She's someone that Coach Duffy says, I'm going to always depend on her veteran leadership. And when the going gets tough, Van Keulen is going to be the one to get it done.
No doubt about it. The notorious LVK, Lauren Van Keulen, one of the real architects for this Marquette team. She didn't get to play as much yesterday because of some fouls, but they're going to lean on her in a big way. The Bulldogs take the floor. The Marquette Golden Eagles put up their final few shots. We'll take a quick pause here on Full of Hoops. On the other side, take a look at keys, starters, and tip it off. Game 2, Dogs, Golden Eagles, next on Flow Hoops. Back at it here, the Golden Eagles, the Bulldogs, ready to take the floor. Let's take a look at our keys to the game as we get a chance to dive in here and really dissect these. We mentioned right before the break that be electric, critical for Georgia. For the Marquette Golden Eagles, they have to be able to control the pace of this game.
Yeah, for Marquette, again, consistent scoring. Again, they have a lot of opportunities, a lot of scorers on their team, but making sure that they are able to capitalize. Again, they had a little bit of a slower start yesterday. Again, day 2, we're seeing it. Second time here on the court, second time opportunity for Dale to get more comfortable with this ball with the rim. So we're seeing, hopefully, we're going to see a higher efficiency with scoring from the Marquette Eagles.
No doubt about it. We got a chance to preview the keys before the break. Now we dive in. You see all 6 right there. Georgia and Marquette. Certainly some critical elements that go into it for both of these two teams. In Georgia, you see that last one roll downhill. They have that ability. That is how they won yesterday in overtime. Once it started, it did not stop for Q Morrison and the Georgia Bulldogs. Starters being announced here at the Ocean Center. Let's go ahead and give them to you right here on Flow Hoops. Nothing different for Georgia and Marquette. The same openers as yesterday. And for this Georgia team, Sarah Ashley Barker, Jennifer, was the spark plug from downtown. She's the one that opens everything else up for UGA.
And again, her just talking about the difference from freshman to sophomore year, she's really being able to hone in, understand what Coach Joni Taylor wants and how she wants it. And we're seeing that in her performance here today.
On the flip side, for the Golden Eagles of Marquette, Jordan King, the prolific jump shooter. You were remarking yesterday when she went up for her very first shot, one of the smoothest strokes we have here in Daytona. They'd love Jordan King to get going again today.
Yes, junior here for Marquette. Again, I haven't seen anything like in the tournament yet. Again, her stroke, pure shooter. Consistency is what they need from her, and we're going to see if she can bring it today. Does
a great job, does Jordan King. We'll see what she can do for Megan Duffy in her 3rd year at the helm of this Marquette Golden Eagle program, the 2019 Big East Coach of the Year, looking to send the Golden Eagles to their program record 5th NCAA tournament on that side right there. UGA led by Joni Taylor. 7th campaign in charge of the Bulldogs. They have produced a lot of pros and a lot of wins in that time. And now Georgia looking to boost the resume even more. Yesterday's win is monumental for them, almost certainly putting them in the top 25. But a sweep from the Ocean Center against a very good program in Marquette can really catapult UGA before SEC play starts.
And a veteran squad from them, again, full of the starting 5, either juniors or seniors or even graduate seniors. So again, they are coming in knowing they've been here before, they've played against top tier teams and how to compete.
That's what it's all about for Georgia, getting that tournament feel, quality competition in short order. They went to the NCAA tournament last year, made it to the 2nd round before they had the unfortunate pleasure of running up against the Oregon Ducks. A phenomenal squad year in and year out. Last year was no different. Buzzer sounds. That means it's go time. Thanks for joining us here on Flow Hoops. Game number 2 of the final day. And this day just continues to build. The games get better and better as we go on. This one promises to be a lot of fun too. Georgia and Marquette on getaway day here in Daytona.
It's the Lady Bulldogs and the Golden Eagles!
Stady and Van Clunen. Advantage Stady and Georgia. Q Morrison starts it. We saw Q very much in the facilitator role for probably the first 3 quarters yesterday, but then she decided to go active scoring, and it worked for UGA.
She was also guarding Olivia Miles.
Correct.
She probably was taking some breaths when she was on the offensive side.
That's a great point. And Olivia Miles still had a tremendous game for Notre Dame. One of the most dynamic freshmen we will see anywhere in the country.
And that's the thing with Q. She is usually guarding the best player on the other side.
Deep boy for a reason. Stady good on the first. It was her free throws late that sealed the victory for Georgia over the aforementioned Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Stady, steady. UGA gets the first 2.
See a little play on words there. Nice job.
Only stealing the nickname. I'm sure I'll drop another 7 times before the game's over because it really does exemplify the play of number 14 on the Georgia roster, Jenna Stady. Good front. Barker got it. Ball stays.
The ball stays with the Golden Eagles.
Van Clunen wants it in the corner. Instead, it's all the way up top. McLaughlin, guarded by Michaela Coombs. Had a huge defensive day yesterday. Michaela Coombs, new career high in steals. One of the best ever for UGA. Murata at the horn, short.
And that's what Georgia wants to do. Get out and run off of these rebounds.
Right place, right time for Kennedy Miles, though. Morrison had too much gas. LVK squares up. Unkind roll. Back to Morrison it goes.
I think Coombs was trying to lob it up for a dunk on that one.
Yeah, no kidding. Back and forth we go. A chaos run of play here in the second minute. Clunen, and most of the rim, but just cannot find the nylon.
Marquette getting the worst of that fall.
Yeah.
With Sarah Barker on top of both Marquette players.
Georgia happy to take advantage as Michaela Coombs buries the baseline jumper.
SEC versus the Big East.
Two classic conferences for sure. You talk about the all-time powers in this sport.
Coombs is gonna get a hand on that every single time. Again, defensive team Georgia is.
She was incredible yesterday.
Another steal for Georgia.
See, you can't do this against UGA. Marquette catches a break though. That was the driving force for Georgia against Notre Dame. When the Irish were able to get the shots up, they were incredibly efficient, but Georgia just denied them those opportunities.
Georgia doing the hard part now, but now finishing those plays off of the defense. Almost another steal.
Yeah, Q's battling down there. King squares it up. And around the world and down. There's the stopper for Marquette. Coombs catch and release.
Double pump on that finish on the layup.
No stopping Michaela Coombs right now. And Georgia takes it right back.
The foul is on Marquette.
Juliana Okosun getting that foul again. A push off there, right in the neck.
15 seconds.
Juliana's first foul of the day. And Georgia a chance to get out and running before the first media. Joni Taylor sticks a hand out, urging her team to slow down. They can sense the potential swing point in this game, and you don't want to rush it. Coombs takes a few steps in and buries it.
Number 4, Micaiah Coombs.
No answer early on for the Bulldog attack. Juliana Okosun. Lob in. Chloe Murata saves Marquette.
There is that size advantage in the post for Marquette. Again, that's going to be huge for them.
Case in point
posting up
right
the
there.
smaller Barker.
Okosun got the board. McLaughlin, outlet denied by Michaela Coombs, and Sarah Ashley Barker comes flying in.
Great effort, though, by Sarah Barker, letting her body on the line.
Number 32, Carlin enters the game for Marquette, replacing number 44, Miles.
Baseline inbound from Marquette. McLaughlin, guarded by Q Morrison. Okosun, second chance. Third, no. Okosun, fourth. 2 free throws for Juliana Okosun.
The foul is on Georgia.
Multiple opportunities for Marquette.
20,
Active on the offensive board early.
Team first. Okosun at the line.
You're good, Georgia.
In and out. One of the headlines for Georgia yesterday was the missed easy opportunities, specifically as it came to layups. But that time, Juliana Okosun misses the first free throw.
Missing both.
Passing on some of that curse from yesterday. We'll see how Georgia does later on in the game. Coombs, great acceleration. Okosun taken away by Barker. Outlet, Coombs again. Q Morrison, long two. Okosun, another board. Great rebounding start for Juliana Okosun. King for three. Not this time. Marquette, another chance. Barker's the lone Bulldog back. McLaughlin pulls up. Another offensive rebound for the Golden Eagles. They've made their hay there. Georgia, not a strong rebounding start. And that immediately activates the UGA bench. Three to go. Okosun loses it, no shot. Here's Morrison, along with Coombs. Great defense by Carissa McLaughlin.
Medium.
That's the under five. Georgia's out and running, but Marquette is slamming the boards. First few minutes here of game two. The Georgia Bulldogs, 56% from the field. First segment of the game. They are hitting a whole lot of shots, and that's reflected in an 8-point lead.
And Georgia, though, with 3 turnovers, although they are not that much, those are easy points that they are missing. Easily 6 points. Marquette, though, again, Jordan King coming in strong to start off with.
Done a good job. It's UGA basketball out of the timeout. Morrison guarded by King.
Seeing our first sighting today of the Georgia's high school All-American, Reagan Richardson.
He's over on the right side. Scrum Fort winds up with Marquette. Also first look at Antoinette Walker for the Golden Eagles here in this run of play. McLaughlin rolling. Her shot from the left elbow leads to an infraction. Michaela Coombs, the guilty party, her first. Lauren Van Clunen got about 45 seconds of rest. She'll come right back in.
Number 12, Carissa McLaughlin at the line for 2 shots.
McLaughlin second is in and out. Right to a waiting Mallory Bates. Outlet. Here's Richardson. Taking straight up D for Golden Eagle. They rally to it.
Marquette size is a little different than she's used to right now.
Went up against Notre Dame last night. Notre Dame's got good size, but not necessarily the across-the-roster length that Marquette features. Georgia's still doing some good, though. Q runs underneath it. Morrison, strong.
Q is great at that wraparound steal. She's done it multiple times in this tournament.
McLaughlin to Walker. King communicating on the screen and maximizing it.
23, Jordan King.
Longest possible 2 for Jordan King. Georgia unable to find the immediate answer. Almost a takeaway right there for Mallory Bates. Marquette still in an offensive lull, looking to explode. That last make, their first in the last 8 tries. Lauren Van Clunen. Having Nicholson the rebound for Georgia. Coombs exploding, reversing to the tune of 2 free throws.
The foul is on Marquette. Number 4, Antoinette Walker, her first personal, team third.
Georgia making some wholesale substitutions, including one of the breakout stars from yesterday's game, Chloe Chapman. So you see the great effort by Coombs. Chapman, a career day in every sense of the word. She was incredible down the stretch, getting to double-digit points, and super efficient.
And we talk about that depth for Georgia, right? So starting 5 does pretty well, gets the lead, and then now off the bench you get an energy player like Chapman to increase that lead.
She made the clutch plays that forced overtime. She's in now guarding the best scorer on the Marquette side of McLaughlin. McLaughlin, short. That time the contest was from Nicholson. UGA defending again, and it's their ball.
Marquette getting themselves second chance opportunities. Next step is start capitalizing on them.
Could be a real good day in Athens. The football team doing what is anticipated. 38-0 UGA over Georgia Tech in the 4th quarter. Georgia football is going to be undefeated in the regular season. Georgia women's basketball has that same opportunity to start. 90 seconds here in the first. Liza Carlin sets the pick. Georgia cleans it up. Van Clunen inside. Nicholson contests, doesn't matter. Lauren Van Clunen. Just inside the right elbow, doesn't go for Mallory Bates. Middleton, the primary ball handler. Liza Carlin at the arc. That handoff was disrupted by Michaela Coombs. In the left wing, doesn't go. Here's Chapman on the board. Shot clock is off. Does Georgia push tempo or hold? They wait. And now they initiate with about 6-5. Chapman attacking off the right side, does not stay. Still, the Georgia Bulldogs executing in a variety of ways, getting points from all over. But right now, this is Michaela Coombs' show. She has been phenomenal. A steal and 11 points for number 4 in the UGA red, Michaela Coombs, pushing Georgia to a dominant first quarter on Flow Hoops. The Georgia Bulldogs looking strong here in the early parts of this game behind a massive effort from Michaela Coombs. She's got to be in the running for player of the tournament the way she was yesterday with the consistent steals, and today she's the driving force in this game.
And that is a credit to do the work, as Coach Joni Taylor talks about, is putting the work in. Again, known for their defensiveness for Georgia.
Van Clunen turns, finishes.
She is tough to handle in the paint.
Chapman down to the baseline. Q tries to grab that. Doesn't need to. It stays with UGA. Trying to get it off the glass in response. Mallory Bates unable to answer the post score. King ran out of room. Liza Carlin to Nicholson.
Nice box out by Sarah Barker.
Nicholson having a really good run of play. We saw her make some nice defensive plays yesterday and coming into the tournament. 13 points in the opener, 13 points in the most recent game against Alabama State. That's 2 for Mallory Bates. Mallory Bates, much more active offensively today than we saw yesterday. Stady's ready to check in, but because there hasn't been a whistle, Bates has held out there a little bit longer, and it's worked extremely well. Every part but the bottom for Carlin.
Also, too, what we need to start looking for is both teams, back-to-back games they played, fatigue will start being a factor at some point.
Back-to-back 4.5 quarters of play for these two. The overtime winners yesterday here in Daytona. Right along the baseline. Brilliant defending by Sarah Ashley Barker. Barker in rhythm. Book it.
Again, something that she was not doing yesterday. Again, finishing those layups. Her correcting that today.
6-0 run for Georgia. Their largest lead of the day in the double figures.
Continues the onslaught of post moves.
About it for Lauren Van Clunen, not your typical guard. The 6'2" grad doing some outstanding work for the Golden Eagles. Nicholson had the line. Looking for that backdoor cut, leads to a wide open baseline jumper. LVK nearly had it. Chapman thought about attacking, just taps the brakes.
You're starting to get a line at the check-in table.
5 players there currently, 3 for Marquette, 2 for Georgia. It's Chapman, long 2. She stays strong. One of the big things in the early part of the season, finding out who your players are in 21-22. And Georgia has themselves a baller in Chloe Chapman. King fouled. Mallory Bates got after it and got some contact.
King, as we see here, going for it, gets the head. That is the part that the refs see. Any shot to the head, that's going to be a foul.
Yep, absolutely. Here come these wholesale substitutions for UGA. Jillian Hollingshed making her game debut. Stady returns. Meanwhile, for Marquette, they go big. Juliana Okosun returns. Kennedy Miles returns. First one no good for King.
Let's go, Jillian, rebound. Come on, Jenna, rebound, rebound. Oh!
Carissa McLaughlin also back on. So Marquette back to their starters. Try and prevent this deficit from growing any larger.
And Coach Joni Taylor loving the two Hollingshed and Stady together.
That's a lot of size. Hollingshed losing it. Miles did the job on defense. Okosun. Right now losing the ball. They were trying to get it to her, but no tip.
Georgia ball.
They argue for it, but it's Georgia ball. Chapman was telling the freshman where to go there. Stady amongst the trees, finesse.
Basketball.
4 points for Stady. 2 from the line, 2 from the field. Right now she guards Juliana Okosun.
Marquette needing to do a better job of getting their guards open for that reversal.
Murata denied. Barker there on defense, but right to awaiting Kennedy Miles. Shot clock expires.
Shot clock violation.
That's a Georgia basketball possession right there. So little space for Marquette to operate, and they don't get a shot off within the 30. That's under 5. UGA by 11, their largest lead. Bulldogs controlling. Marquette trying to answer back here in game number 2 on Flow Hoops. University of Georgia looking very much the part of the top 25 team. Double figures here against a great Marquette squad.
I think we're seeing Georgia's speed on defense really disrupting. But for Marquette, they got to be able to get their guards open. The inability to swing the ball to the other side is preventing them to getting into their offense.
To that point, neither team has hit an outside shot yet. A combined 0 of 9 from downtown. 6 of those belong to Marquette. Georgia clogging the perimeter. Usually we talk about defense in the paint, but for UGA, it's a full court effort right now. Coombs is back.
Her presence is known.
She got a little rest there to start the second, and she comes right back out.
Good job, King, forcing Morrison to foul her.
Veteran play from the junior Jordan King. Megan Duffy wants her to be aggressive as possible. Says sometimes she can try and be too good a teammate, sometimes deferring to her teammates when they want her to let it rip. Van Clunen against Stady. That's a quality matchup, and it's advantage the SEC blocks leader. Hollingshed, just short, second chance, good.
Stat packer. Stat packer. Forcing Marquette into a timeout.
Georgia barking their way through Daytona, up 15 on Flow Hoops. The Georgia Bulldogs can do just about no wrong right now. Megan Duffy going to try and do what so many coaches in the Southeastern Conference will try and solve. How do we beat this Georgia defense? It's King driving, walled off by Stady, and the ball remains with Marquette.
I think we got used to seeing Notre Dame easily score. Well, not easily, but scored a little bit at a higher pace.
Slightly more often.
Yes. And we forgot that it is hard to score against UGA.
That Georgia defense shown at the end as a little reminder. Into Stady. Foul on Chloe Murata. Check that, a violation against Georgia, and it's Marquette basketball. And right back, offensive foul, and we didn't see it in game one, but here it is, game two.
Moving screen.
Liza Carlin, the guilty party. And one of the more consistent calls in this tournament. Coombs thought about it. Here's Barker. Morrison on the switch. Q attacking inside. Strong defense by Van Clunen. Baseline, trying to get it over Hollingshed. Easier said than done. Pace slows Marquette.
The foul is on Georgia.
Draws the infraction out of Georgia. Shot.
Number 23, second personal, team third.
Zoisha Smith and Chloe Chapman will bolster this Georgia attack.
Our first time seeing Zoisha Smith. Yesterday, she had a pretty good game.
She did. played a good amount of minutes after only a couple of games on the season. Zoisha Smith, seeing her most games played here in Daytona. Good on the second is Liza Carlin. Zoisha Smith, known in Georgia even before she went to UGA, playing in the state title game at Glenn. Chapman will watch as it remains here.
And Marquette is showing in that 2-3 zone. That's going to be the tale for Georgia this year. As usual, most people sit in that zone, daring them to score from shooting from outside.
That's really where Sarah Ashley Barker comes in.
And Reagan Richardson.
Yep.
Again, Joni Taylor recruiting more shooters now.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? If you combine their defense with consistent outside shooting, they're going to be really, really hard to beat. Their interior play, though that's not a strong example of it as it gets by Stady. But they clearly have the size, and Hollingshed only bolsters that. McDonald's All-American. First time UGA's ever had 2 All-Americans in the exact same recruiting class. A testament to the culture that Joni Taylor is building in Athens. Carlin. King could not secure it. Zoisha Smith. Nearly a double.
If you ask the Marquette bench, it was a double. But they get it back regardless. Nice charge.
Great defensive positioning. Look at it here. And Clunan just wins the race to the spot. And Clunan, good.
She has been money from that turnaround jumper. Or face-up jumper, I should say.
Marquette hoping for a little something here to end the half. These first 2 quarters are painted in red and black. Good for Zoisha Smith. She's on the board. King, lob inside, too tall even for the height-gifted Van Clunan.
I like that phrase, height-gifted. That is good.
Thank you.
Georgia able to hold for the last shot.
And they're going to preserve some time, rolling it.
It's a strong roll.
About 3/4 court there, got it done.
It's probably a great bowler, just heads up.
Whoa, most. We saw an alley-oop from Q Morrison yesterday for UGA. Not that time, though. Georgia by 2 touchdowns at halftime, 31-17. UGA starts it with Coombs. She goes 11 right out of the gate, winds up with 13 at half, which tells you the scoring comes from the other players. And we saw Smith and Chapman, Stady, all start to find an offensive rhythm. And this is that Georgia roster, right, that just plays everybody time and again. They get it done. Marquette really, really leaning on Lauren Van Clunan to do the bulk of their scoring. She wound up with 8 points. Megan Duffy's going to have to adjust. We'll ask her about those now with Kat Biancardi. Kat, take it away.
Coach Kelly, you're in the same position as you were yesterday against Middle Tennessee State, down, and you guys ended up coming out with the win. What makes you think Marquette can beat Georgia today?
Well, I'll tell you what, I know anything else that could happen, but we're going to play hard and do the best that we can. This first half, they're up a little bit, but we're going to come out second half with some grit and fight.
Yep, it's been really hard to slow down Michaela Coombs. She's been absolutely dominant in terms of offensive scoring. What defensive plan are you guys going to focus on?
I think that we just have to play team defense. You know, she's a great scorer getting downhill. Maybe you have to get a little bit closer to her, not let her get quite so far into the lane. But, you know, we work hard. We play as hard as we can. I think we'll be all right.
All right, thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Best of luck. All right, send it to y'all to the half.
Thank you, Kat. Assistant Coach Kelly Kamara joining us there for the Marquette Golden Eagles, the former player at Purdue. She's going to try and get something boiling here for Marquette. They got to get rolling, down 31-17 here from the Ocean Center. Georgia firing on all cylinders. Michaela Coombs combing through the Golden Eagle defense. They're up 14 at halftime on Flow Hoops.
Just jack with me. Jack with me.
31-17, the Georgia Bulldogs on top of Marquette.
You tried to give them 2 points.
Yeah, a little help here and there. Listen, when you're playing the Georgia defense, you need all the help you can get the way this thing's rolling. UGA is absolutely locked in right now. A team that's going to be in the top 25 when the next polls come out. We can say that pretty confidently. And they've really looked that part today. A complete first half for UGA.
And I think we're seeing just a progression from yesterday's game. A lot of the same players, Chapman, Steady. We're seeing Q Morrison really picking up the pace again. Everyone is really doing their job, and that is the biggest thing. Do your job, and they do it well.
No doubt about it. Let's take a look at some of the numbers here from half number one. First, on an individual level for the Georgia Bulldogs, you literally cannot do better than Michaela Coombs did in the first half. 6 of 6 from the field, 13 points. She was incredible and is the driving force between a 48% field goal percentage for Georgia in the half.
And we see there, they were shooting high percentage shots. Again, Georgia's not going to kill you from the three-point line. They're going to get inside the paint. They're going to get that one-dribble pull-up, and that's what we saw there. Again, what we said, three-point field goals, both of them are at 0. And it's not because Marquette's not trying. Mm-hmm. Marquette is shooting it from the 3, but they're just not making a high clip from it. And then again, free throws are always going to be a big tail. Marquette not necessarily capitalizing on those free throws, but we are seeing Georgia getting to it. And then turnovers. 10 turnovers for Marquette, and Georgia being able to capitalize on most of them. Yeah,
those points off the turnovers favoring UGA, 10-4. Georgia's done a good job there. How about the turnaround from the free throw line? UGA struggled yesterday, way higher today, 75-50. Plenty of halftime adjustments in between games, and now more at the half. Let's hear from Joni Taylor and Kat Biancardi. Kat, take it away.
Coach Taylor, you're in a little bit more comfortable position than you were yesterday. One thing you mentioned to me is that you saw your team get settled in. How much more settled in are your girls today?
Well, we knew we had a tough task. Marquette's an NCAA tournament team. They play really, really hard. We wanted to get out, pressure the basketball, establish our inside-out game, and try to run in transition, and I think we've done a pretty good job of doing that so far.
Yeah, both yesterday and today, your team has capitalized already in double digits with points off turnovers. What kind of havoc do you like to create? I noticed that's one thing that your girls are really active and involved.
It's just our identity. You know, our motto is defense travels. And so as we built this program, it was built on defense. And so it gets us excited. It's our go-to. It's what we like to do. And everybody gets involved. It's really fun.
Well, that's why you have Q Morrison as one of the co-SEC reigning defensive players of the year. So best of luck in this next half, and appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sending it back to you all.
Thank you, Kat and Coach Taylor. No doubt this team is certainly strong when the basketball is the other team, and it hasn't much mattered. Georgia continuing for blocks, steals, everything in between. This UGA D is tough to stop. But on the Marquette side, the good news for the Golden Eagles, and you heard it there from Coach Taylor, this is a team that has that capability. They have the shooter. It's about getting Carissa McLaughlin and Jordan King going here in half 2.
And what you heard from her at halftime is that they're not going to quit. They're going to have the fight. They're going to not stop until the last 0-0 on that fourth quarter. So that's what we can expect from a Marquette team. Again, they're a big-time program, and they've seen this before. They have a lot of veterans on that team, and I'm sure that they're going to still continue to fight as they go into this third quarter.
McLaughlin's 0 of 7 from the field. Liza Carlin 0 of 4. So it really has been no in-between. The superstars in this tournament have either been unbelievably transcendent, game-defining, or really, really struggled. And right now, Marquette finds themselves on the latter end of that situation.
And that's when we talk about that mental toughness as well, though, with the mental capacities, being able to fight through that. You know, just because you're scoring, try and assist, rebound. There's other parts of the game that, again, if one aspect of your game is not hitting, you got to be able to impact the game in other ways. And I think that's the next step for some of these players.
No doubt about it. And that's why you come here, too. You know it's going to be a challenge. If you wanted the straight, easy out-of-conference schedule, you wouldn't have come to Daytona Beach in the most competitive field anywhere in the entire country. So that adversity is built in to the tournament structure.
100%.
About 30 seconds till we get things going once again. Georgia up 14. Expect that same starting 5 for UGA. They have built it out, and it has been their starting 5 the entire time. Remaining schedule for today here. The games are, just absolutely sensational here to end the day. The folks at Destination Basketball doing a great job. Mississippi State and Michigan in Game 3. Notre Dame and Oregon State in Game 4. Those are 4 teams that have looked transcendent here on the beach.
Yes, this tournament is turning up this last few hours here in Daytona Beach. Again, you cannot take your foot off the gas pedal to end this game or end this day, or else you'll walk away disappointed.
Notre Dame and Oregon State both falling yesterday, but them on the revenge tour against each other should be something special to watch. For now, we've got the Georgia Bulldogs looking to hold the lead against Marquette. Michaela Coombs inbounds, and we are back underway here in game number 2. Game 7 overall. There's a takeaway for Marquette. A touch out of bounds, though.
Sign of a good teammate on the bench, being able to pick your teammate up.
So Georgia nearly losing the ball, but they catch a break. And Michaela Coombs will inbound on the side out.
We have a shot clock issue.
Since Marquette never fully established possession, shot clock goes to 19. And here we go. It's one of those times you know exactly how much is supposed to be on the shot clock because you can look up at the game clock. Stady, second chance, 2 free throws for Jenna Stady.
1 Sadie, 2 Marquette players down.
Yeah.
That's how the game is going.
That's
for Marquette.
About what it takes to try and slow down Jenna Stady, too. One-on-one, despite Marquette's size, that is a tough ask. First one's good. Georgia probably relatively thankful for this. They'd never say it, but it would be a lot of fun to watch. Stady versus Nas in a game between Georgia and Michigan.
You know, I would have to give it to Nas, though. She has the athleticism and speed to get around her, and she showed yesterday that it doesn't matter how big her opponent is, she's going to be able to score on top. So, I would have to give that one to Nas.
No, Stady's got the size and the strength. Nas, obviously, a transcendent player, but as far as trying to slow her down, it'd be interesting to see what the inherent physical advantages of Jenna Stady would look like in that matchup. You never know. Could happen way down the road.
Jordan Isaacs, the third personal team first. Number 35, Javin Nicholson enters the game.
Early sub on this one for
Javin Nicholson came in. Jordan Isaacs was trying to stay in the game there, but she is the one subbed off. Georgia will have some more Power 5 competition coming up as we create a fantasy matchup there against Michigan. They'll be on the road in Lubbock, Texas to take on Texas Tech. And then back in Athens against Georgia Tech, as that's a nice play for Liza Carlin.
Georgia Tech having a great start to the season, led by the none other. I'm blanking on her name, but she's an amazing coach. Neil Fortner, there it is, Auburn. I played against her at Florida. She's a great coach, great person, but she's leading that Georgia Tech team.
Jump ball, possession arrow pointing the other way. Yeah, the Yellow Jackets will hope that Georgia Tech goes a little differently on the basketball court than it did today on the gridiron.
I will have to say personal favorite of them because they have my old post coach, Muriel Page. That is another reason why I do like the Georgia Tech Jackets. That's her spot.
And Clunan runs it down. King, aggressive.
Marquette is tough. When you give them 2 opportunities at the baskets, they're going to capitalize.
Is that what gets Jordan King going? Hugh, lob inside, Stady. Van Clunan disrupted. Javin Nicholson. Unable to get it, and Van Clunan wins the rebound against Stady. Foul on the floor. Marquette inbounding. Miles. Good. Tough shot for Kennedy Miles.
Changing her shot up mid-air, but still being able to finish.
Stady. 0 for her last 2. Marquette starting to find the answer in the key. Looking for single digits. Kick on Q Morrison.
We're seeing the momentum shift a little bit here for Marquette. Again, that halftime speech doing its job.
See Kennedy Miles out there. Used to be a member of the Fighting Illini, who we saw here earlier today fall to Middle Tennessee. Set their freshman record for rebounds and transfers and joins Megan Duffy and the Marquette Golden Eagles. Miles, jumper over Barker. Morrison runs it down. Q pushing with Barker flanking. The give to Barker. 2 free throws for Sarah Ashley Barker.
Sarah Ashley Barker will probably, once she gets back to Athens, need a cold bath or cold ice bath because she has been taking a lot of falls in the past 2 days.
For a guard who's a particularly good three-point shooter, you wouldn't expect the level of physicality you often see for Sarah Ashley Barker.
But that's the kind of players that Coach Joni Taylor recruits.
No doubt about it. She'll get aggressive on the defensive end as well. That's one thing that Coach Taylor's actually tried to scale back a little bit. With Sarah Ashley Barker being such a linchpin in terms of opening things up from three-point land, they know she has to stay on the floor and avoid foul trouble no matter what. They're asking her to take on an even bigger role this year. Van Clunen, good. Lauren Van Clunen.
She has been strong for the Marquette Golden Eagles, keeping them in the game.
All Big East. It's all Big Easy right now for Lauren Van Clunen. Trying to power her team back against Georgia. Q short, board Miles. McLaughlin's outlet was too far in front of Chloe Murata.
Number 22, Mallory Bates.
Mallory Bates returning to the floor, relieving Nicholson.
Replacing number 35, Shannon Nicholson.
Stady wants the 3. Oh!
Gets the bounce.
First 3 of the game, first 3 of the season for Jenna Stady. The stretch 5. There's a Georgia steal. Go figure. It's Coombs who winds up with the basketball.
And that's what they were not doing in the first half. Again, they would force that issue and get that turnover again. Now, second half, they've learned. Now they're slowing it down.
Stady thought about a second. Instead, it's Mallory Bates off the glass. That lead was single digits a few minutes ago. Georgia rallying right back. 6 in a row for Marquette gives away a huge run to Georgia. Van Clunen cross court. Murata. Ball remains.
The ball stays with Marquette. Number 24, Williams.
4 minutes and 54 seconds. A timeout on the floor. We'll take it with them. Georgia holding on to that 14-point lead they had at halftime here on Flow Hoops.
Media timeout.
The UGA handling things here, looking to move to 6-0. Back and forth we've gone in this quarter, but it has wound up exactly where it started. Georgia by 14. The Georgia faithful amongst the top attendance here in Daytona. Getting a root on their crowd. Stady altered the shot. Bates, 2 free throws for Mallory.
Strong take by Mallory as she is able to drive over 2 Marquette defenders and get that foul called.
Mallory Bates starting to become a name really known to those Georgia fans. Working her way in, and she got her first start in the NCAA tournament.
It's not a bad way.
Tony Taylor's saying, all right, Mallory, go get it. Have fun. And she's been tremendous. Though yesterday's free throw woes begin to make an appearance for Georgia. King. Cut off Miles. Morrison defends, shot blocked and claimed by Mallory Bates. There she is. Here's Q. She'll just back it out. Georgia doesn't have to be in any hurry here. Morrison, step back over Van Clunen almost. King, beautiful crossover. Left unrewarded. But they're going to tag Stady, I believe. It'll be on Mallory Bates.
The foul is on number 22.
Either way, it is a Georgia foul. Hollingshed enters for UGA. Stady gets a break for Marquette. Liza Carlin returns to the game.
Marquette having opportunity to close that gap and trying to get it within 10.
That's how you have to handle the big comeback, right? Just make markers. All right, let's get it to 10. Let's get it to 6. 3. So far, Georgia, as they are wont to do, is making that difficult. From the right elbow, King, smooth.
She's going to help. She's going to help get them back in the game.
And if it's going to happen, she's going to have to be a huge part. Beautiful pass inside. Book it.
Bates with the and one.
Basket is good by Bates. The foul is on number 24. Williams.
Kayla Coombs sparks it. Here's Mallory Bates to try and finish the and one. It's good. King, aggressive through the entirety of the Georgia defense. Jordan King
Took them
try and
all
power her team. Yeah, no kidding.
The foul is on Georgia, number 4.
Hugh Morrison will check out. Chloe Chapman enters. And Danielle Middleton returns for Marquette.
King at the line.
King shooting 2.
2 shots.
Offside iron for King. Don't see that too often. 0 of 2. King's had a frustrating start from the free throw line this season. It continues here for her and her team. 3 of 10 is Marquette from the stripe.
Second opportunity for Georgia here.
Coombs and Co. looking for their largest lead. Hollingshed, baseline. Friendly hops indeed. Jillian Hollingshed is on the board with her second make. Entry pass, nearly safe. Good effort by Liza Carlin.
A little bit too much strength on that one.
That'll happen. Adrenaline coursing, trying to mount a comeback. And right now, Georgia going to try and erase any doubt before the fourth begins. For Marquette, this is why you're here. Adversity against a lot of talent in the opposing jersey.
The foul is on Marquette, number 42, Lauren Van Klunen, the third personal.
Third foul on Lauren Van Klunen.
Number 52, Chloe Murata enters the game, replacing number 25, Middleton. Two shots for Mallory Bates.
First for Mallory Bates is good.
I also attribute a little bit of the slow start with not being able to get Carissa McLaughlin going.
Yeah.
Again, she is one of their premier players.
0 of 7. She was cash in the overtime win for Marquette, but today, Georgia keying in on her. You have to imagine that one right there played a part. Joni Taylor giving her team the appropriate game plan, and they have executed it to a T.
2020 SEC Coach of the Year. 2020-2021, I should say.
Reigning. First for Hollingshed. Good.
Hollingshed at the line for one shot.
Mallory Bates. Chance for a few points here for Georgia to end the half. Excuse me, end the quarter. Chapman, left elbow.
Cash money.
Cash money. Dollars. Chloe Chapman. Never going to forget her time in Daytona. There is what Marquette needs. Carissa McLaughlin listening in.
She said, I'm right here, guys.
Chapman attacking the zone. Wow.
When you're the one, you're the one. Again, Chapman taking over late here in the third.
One of the best prospects in the 2019 class. At one time, she was the #1 prospect. We talked about it yesterday. Her first full offseason of basketball as she was going dual sport athlete, soccer and hoops. But now she's committed and it's paid off. Follow-up effort is good. Jordan King trying her best. But Georgia can be up by 20 with a make. Mallory Bates does just that. 2-0 the lead. Georgia going to keep a loss column empty if they keep this up. 53-33. Georgia absolutely on fire right now. They can do no wrong. Marquette going to try and find out something special in the fourth. Stady out here hitting threes. When that happens, there's no answer. Georgia by a lot on Flow Hoops. Georgia up huge to start the fourth quarter.
Led by a balanced attack.
Yeah.
Seeing it a little bit from everybody. Coming up late, Mallory Bates, defensive end and offensive end.
It was all Michaela Coombs to start. Now it's Bates, second leading scorer with 10. Coombs still on top with 13. Stady with 9. Barker 4, Morrison 4, Hollingshed 5. Yeah, it's come from everywhere, that's for sure. Literally everywhere. Jordan Isaacs, long 2. King into Carlin. Rebound belongs to Hollingshed. Morrison, pull up. Everything is working. Everything. Quick timeout called by Marquette. Teaching moments here for the Golden Eagles. Red and black all over it. Here from Daytona Beach, live on Flow Hoops. Georgia in control here. They're going to look to finish strong down the stretch, maintain the momentum, and get ready for the remainder of their pre-conference slate before SEC play opens. Miles v. Hollingshed, a win for the freshman. And that ball is lost on the way. This is the first time we've seen this in any of our games here at the Ocean Center. Even the ones that have ended in double figures were tight for the grand majority. This has been Georgia's game from pretty much the jump.
And I think they took the momentum, like I said in the beginning, off of yesterday's win. You beat a tough Notre Dame team, you're rolling.
Yep.
Especially getting some unexpected performance from Chapman, again, who got more minutes today. Again, showing that, you know, what you do, again, let the work show for itself. They're putting in the work, letting it show here on our last day in Daytona Invitational.
Marquette came in, really, really good rebounding team. Georgia's got them beat there in the grand majority of the game. Marquette's up by 4 in that category, but Georgia's found a way to grab the ones that have mattered.
Well, Corey, SEC is a little different.
That's true.
We're built differently in SEC.
The SEC legend, Jennifer George, is qualified as anyone to discuss the Southeastern Conference. One of the nation's best. You talk about the historic programs. Obviously, Tennessee is right there in terms of what they've accomplished as a culture. Now you've got South Carolina building their dynasty. And one of the other teams in the SEC is Mississippi State. We'll see them later today. They have been one of the winningest teams anywhere in the last 10 years.
Their big win over UConn.
That's the one.
Morgan Williams.
Breaking the UConn streak. The Bulldogs of Mississippi State. That was the beginning of the crack in the armor for UConn, which opened the door for the SEC to kind of worm their way in with Mississippi State and with South Carolina. Make no mistake, UConn's not dead by any means. They may have the best player in the country, but...
I was going to say, Paige might say otherwise. It was interesting, though. I believe it was today or yesterday, Muffet McGraw tweeted about how the poll, the top 25 poll, was held to see if South Carolina were to lose against the UConn, but yet there were a bunch of other games by ranked teams that led to very similar, and I'll find the tweet so I can be a little bit more specific, but it's just interesting, Muffet McGraw's thought process on how the media sometimes rigs the rankings for other players, for other teams.
It can be a little top-heavy, right? And part of that is the nature of the sport. As that goes for Stady, but there's no doubt.
Well, this was a tweet. When you delay the top 25 poll, the number 1 versus number 2 game, it's because you think it's number 1's going to lose. However, when a number 5 beats a number 2 Maryland, it's an upset, ? The number 7 Stanford beats number 4 Indiana, it's not. That's a bias in the media.
Interesting.
Well, I think she's talking about how Dawn Staley sometimes has always said South Carolina versus everyone.
Sure.
Or the culture wins.
Yeah, it can be that way. Again, I think we really do focus on such a narrow set of teams in this sport, and that's part of expanding the coverage, and luckily what we've gotten to see here, right? And 2, you look at the teams in this tournament. Georgia's a perfect example. Receiving votes in the top 25 coming into this tournament. I don't think anybody at the Ocean Center doubted that Georgia's a top 25 team in the country. I don't think anyone doubts that Notre Dame's a top 25 team in the country. But that's what it's about, especially early on when we don't really know as much as we sometimes think we know.
You're going off of last year in the recruits.
Right.
Also, too, you can say that realistically against a lot of sports. Football is another thing that around bowl time, there's always going to be, you know, or the Final Four teams for the playoffs.
Yep. Men's hoops, you see a little more parity only because that tournament can lead to some chaos. In women's hoops, it is concentrated, but football, you're absolutely right. There are 3 or 4 teams that have a chance to win a football title every year. That's it.
That's it. If you do not go to those 4 schools, your chances are going.
Next to none. Now, that may change this year, especially with the results today. Michigan beating Ohio State, so that somewhat changes the math.
Stady for 2.
She's feeling that long ball today. Heat check there for Jenna Stady. Although, staring at that G right in front of us, if Georgia plays the way that they've been playing, it may not matter who the other teams are in the Final Four. Inside, Antoinette Walker for 2. Buried it. They haven't needed her much today, but Sarah Ashley Barker still has that in the arsenal.
And that is one of the reasons why she was brought to Georgia, to extend defenses just like that.
Laughlin searching for a quick steal there. Lauren Van Clunen's really rounded into form here. So that, as we kind of look at the silver linings here for Marquette, is going to be a huge part. Obviously, they'll need LVK to really get going their aspirations to succeed in the Big East.
Exactly. Again, in these kind of tests, the takeaways are the most important part, and the learning lessons for Marquette are going to be huge moving forward for the success for them as they go into conference play.
They return 10, so a lot of returners in terms of numbers, but new roles for a lot of those players, including that one in Jordan King. And whenever you lose a WNBA draft player in Selena Lott, which they did, there's always going to be some adjusting that has to happen. They picked up a win here in Daytona. That's big as well. So Golden Eagles of Marquette still have everything in front of them with their Big East goals. That's going to be a whistle against Marquette. Under 5 mark here in the 4th. Georgia in control. Going to stay undefeated in 2021.
For personal team second.
Georgia Bulldogs doing the thing here in Daytona Beach. Reminder, our next 2 games coming up, a pair of doozies to round out the Daytona Beach Invitational here on Flow Hoops. Mississippi State and Michigan, Notre Dame and Oregon State. And as we preview that next one just a little bit, obviously for Michigan, we know it starts with Naz Hillman. She is as good as it gets. But Mississippi State might be easy for the folks here in Daytona to forget about them. Haven't played in a couple days. They went on Thursday and got the bye yesterday. They looked phenomenal on that first day, particularly Naz's AAU teammate, Rakia Jackson.
I'm not sure anyone can forget about Mississippi State. They're a hard team to forget, especially as they were in attendance last night for the games. And they're hard to miss. Rakia Jackson, especially. I think she walked past me, and I was just like, okay, I'm looking up toward the ceiling on you.
What should be fascinating about that game is the two completely divergent offensive styles. Mississippi State wants to get out, run, utilize their athleticism to attack and drive. For Michigan, it is a post-up game with Naz Hillman, and then everything works around that. So a complete stylistic clash in Game 3. Crossover for Richardson, step back. That would have been on the highlight reel.
Seeing Georgia play a little loose here at the end.
Yeah. 27-point lead will do that. But that's part of it, too. You got to know how to play with a lead. Learning in all situations in the pre-conference schedule.
Number 53, Hollingshed, enters the game.
Jillian Hollingshed returns to the game for UGA. Megan Duffy watches on. Hoping to make the improvements and build some momentum. Marquette, next game is back in Milwaukee on Friday. They will host Xavier. And then Butler on Sunday.
So Isha Smith taking it hard in between three Marquette Golden Eagles. Getting the foul called.
Foul for Marquette, number 25, Danielle Middleton, her first personal.
Whistles on Middleton. Zoisha Smith, the aggressor, getting her longest run of playing time these last two games by a long shot, breaking into that extra strength Georgia rotation. Bates popped it right back out to Smith. Zoisha not this time. King, 2 free throws.
The foul on Georgia, number 4.
Coombs looks like she's slow to get up. Possible ankle.
And walking gingerly off. And you see her hand reach down there a little bit. The thing is, she walked off, so hopefully just some temporary discomfort for Michaela Coombs. We've seen how important she is to this Georgia team.
2 shots for King.
No good for King on the first.
Thank goodness for them, their next game is until Thursday, so they do have some time once they get back to rest up, recover, and be ready to go.
Hit the road to Lubbock, Texas. Maura Jenkins making her Daytona debut. She's on the right-hand side now for Georgia. Zoisha Smith, 2 shots.
The foul is on Marquette. Number 25, Danielle Middleton, second person team.
Georgia's going to go into the rest of this season as experienced as anybody. Those super seniors foregoing the WNBA draft one final time to come back, try and make a deep NCAA tournament run. That is a possibility for these Georgia Bulldogs. Murata in for Middleton. Miles, good high-low, 2 for Kennedy Miles. Richardson, miscommunication there. You're Georgia, you're happy to have the freshman mistakes in a game you're winning 67-42.
100%. 100%. Overall, good tournament, though, for Reagan Richardson, Georgia's high school All-American.
She was great. I think Jillian Hollingshed was probably one of the best freshmen in this tournament that we've seen. She's been incredibly effective, particularly on defense and rebounding. Freshman of the tournament's kind of locked up. We'll see here in the next game for Notre Dame, but right side, not quite for Miles. I was reading last night, she's not eligible for ACC freshman honors, though. I'll have to confirm that before we play that game with Notre Dame. But
it would make sense. She did play majority of the season.
Not the half season last year, yeah. So you understand it. And if she is a freshman and a changing role, so a lot of learning. So you can see the argument both ways. King, floater. Not this time. Winds up with Georgia. So Zoisha Smith attacking. She'll continue to have some fun. 2 free throws for Zoisha Smith.
The foul is on number 5. Foul is on number 5.
Emphasis for Georgia when they get back. Finishing with contact on layups.
The foul is on number 52.
Yeah, once you get into SEC play, things tend to get a little more physical.
Just a tad.
Zoisha's first is good.
There are just certain teams that you walk in knowing this is going to be tough. South Carolina, Georgia, but maybe that's just because I was at Florida. I'm not sure if that was a strategic one or not.
Florida when you were there, yes.
Yes. Yes. But yeah, there's just certain teams that you're walking in knowing you're going to walk out with some bruises.
Rose Nkumu into the game for the first time. We saw her a ton yesterday. Free ball, Chloe Murata. Long 2 for Chloe Murata.
1 second difference between the shot clock and the game clock.
Georgia can basically hold, but they got the youngsters out there. I'd imagine those kids are going to want to play here.
Bates.
Yep.
Too strong.
Well, that's anything but a youngster. That's the redshirt senior Mallory Bates. With an assist from a newcomer. Liza Carlin, the final shot of the game, and fittingly, the Georgia Bulldogs got a piece of it. So 70-44, Georgia leads. That score will be altered with 2 free throws.
That's going to be a conversation with the freshmen that you let that one go.
Yeah.
2 shots.
First is good.
Rebound, come on, Georgia, rebound. You got it, Red. Rebound.
Hollingshed adds 1 rebound to her Daytona tally. And that wraps it up. Georgia, 70 points in the game in conjunction with that incredible defense. UGA, top to bottom, executes at every level. The Georgia Bulldogs showing why in the next rendition of the top 25 poll, they belong right there. What a showing for UGA. Led in scoring by 2 players, tied at 13. It's Coombs and Stady. Bates right there with 12. The Georgia Bulldogs impressing here in Daytona. They have to be the most impressive team, one of the first ones to finish 2 games here. And so far, UGA has been sheer brilliance. As good as it gets in a elite tournament setting, Georgia showcases they can rise above as they get ready for conference play. And now, Georgia getting ready for the remainder of out-of-conference play. 2 stars, the coach and the player with Kat now. Kat, take it away.
The Georgia Bulldogs remain perfect, winning the past 2 games. Coach Taylor has told me just how together your team has played, and you put up 12 points this game, along with several other teammates putting up good offensive scoring. What did you learn about yourself?
I learned that we just got to stick together as a team. No matter how much time you play, everybody can be the important player of the game. Like, you just have to stay ready.
Yeah, Coach, you have one of the largest rosters in terms of depth. Between you have, your graduates, seniors, and then you have two, All-Americans now as freshmen. Describe that depth of the Georgia roster.
Well, it's what we've been trying to build, and we're finally at that point. It started last year and it carried over to this year. We want to be great, we want to be elite, and it takes numbers the way we want to play. Fast on offense, feisty and hard on defense. And so in practice, we get after it, and it just builds really good competition. And then out here, it reflects. Yesterday, Chloe had a great game. Today, it was Mallory. It's anybody's day, and that's what makes us dangerous.
It's one of those things where you have multiple players that you can rely on to execute your game plan and to lift each other up. So best of luck to Georgia and the rest of you guys head into SEC play coming up in December and January. And, I think after today, you have to agree with me that Georgia deserves an AP ranking after this weekend.
For sure.
All right, if I had any place with the media, I'd vote, but I don't. But this is your plug. So best of luck, guys, and I appreciate your time, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you, guys. Go Dogs, she says. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Kat. Yeah, I think we've said it a few times, probably enough to manifest it, that Georgia will find themselves in that final top 25 poll here headed into this next week. UGA earning every bit of it. They score it. King was good for Marquette, but no answer for the Georgia onslaught. Now we get ready for the beginning of our nightcap session. Last two games. This one is a doozy. The Michigan Wolverines, the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. As good as it gets on the other side, right here on Flow Hoops.